Throughout history, the spirit of patriotism has prevailed. The battles may have changed, but the values remain the same. Today, in 2024, we find ourselves at a pivotal moment where the call for unity, freedom, and a better future echoes louder than ever. For more than 10 years, Patriot Mobile has been committed to supporting the values that make our nation great. With affordable plans and reliable nationwide coverage, Patriot Mobile is not just a wireless service. It's a call to action for those who believe in the American dream. Because this year is not just any year, it's the most important year since our nation's founding. Choose a wireless carrier that shares your values. Choose Patriot Mobile.
Hi, everybody. I'm Bianca Della Garza, and you have to check out Gene Valentino's Grassroots Truthscast podcast. I was a guest. He has the best guests always. Check him out.
Welcome back to Newswire. Hi, everybody. I'm Bianca Della Garza. So here they are, mayors from the country's bluest cities on Capitol Hill today to answer about what they did with illegal migrants in their cities and sanctuary protection. Of course, President Donald Trump has made it clear he plans to cut funding to sanctuary cities. A lot of interesting back and forth. Let's bring in our panel to weigh in on some of it. GOP political strategist and insider, host of the Grassroots Truthcast podcast, Gene Valentino is with us, and also attorney Eric Faddis. Hi, gentlemen. Welcome into Newswire. Good to see you both.
Good afternoon.
Good to be with you.
Well, Michelle Wu is having an interesting week. First of all, a knife-wielding suspect is shot by an off-duty police officer in her city, and she offers condolences to the knife-wielding suspect's family. Odd. Today, she brings a baby, her newborn, to the hearing. I mean, maybe a sympathy play, Gene, where she's trying to act that she's just this mom and she loves everybody. Well, we love everybody, too, and we don't want to see anyone also sex trafficked through the border. So open borders just don't work unless, I guess, you're the mayor of Boston and these other mayors, right?
Well, if the message is weak, you have to do something to divert, deflect, or distract. And I think that was the perfect play.
Yeah, clearly. Eric Adams, though, we know Eric has been sort of, pushing back about some of the sanctuary cities and what's been going on. We have a Democratic Congressman, Robert Garcia, asked Mayor Adams if he engages in a quid pro quo with the Trump administration and if that led to his federal corruption charges being dropped. Let's play this exchange.
Are you selling out New Yorkers to save yourself from prosecution?
There's no deal, no quid pro quo, and I did nothing wrong.
I personally agree with the majority of New Yorkers and think, Mr. Mayor, that you should resign. You should do the right thing. You should step down and resign today.
Well, I don't think he has any plans to do that, Eric, but legally, obviously, there's been a lot of drama after those charges were dropped. What did you think of Eric Adams today on the Hill?
Yeah, I think Garcia was putting on a bit of a show. It was a bit overly harsh, but there is a real concern about how Eric Adams' case played out and whether he could be beholden to the Trump administration and take measures that are in support of that administration at the expense of his constituents. Now, on the other hand, some people would argue that he is just trying to get in line with sort of the federal policy and help in this concerted effort regarding immigration. And so Mayor Adams is in a pretty peculiar spot, and he has to be careful what he says up there.
Yeah, for sure. Well, Donald Trump had a lot to say about his successes in 43 days into his second term. Pretty incredible speech last night. But we did see the Democrats not only sitting, there was this interesting exchange. Senator Elizabeth Warren, Massachusetts, when she was brought up and Trump called her out when it came to Ukraine and Russia. Here is what went down last night.
Of dollars to support Ukraine's defense with no security, with no anything. Do you want to keep it going for another 5 years? Yeah, you would say Pocahontas says yes.
What do you think of that exchange? And also, Zelensky today saying we're going to meet in Brussels, but we know they want the U.S. intel, which has been withheld unless there's a peace date set for negotiations, Gene.
Yeah, it was only yesterday in the Atlantic, actually 2020, Elizabeth Warren had written a piece in there that war must end. We must work towards a mission of peace. She was being very much the peace maker and espousing peace every way she could. The Atlantic story explains it all. And here she is applauding to extend the war 5 years, according to Donald Trump's comment. And this drives to a bigger 2 points, in my opinion, Bianca. Number one, we're seeing the final stage of resentment politics in plain view. They have nothing to grasp onto anymore. That's number one. Number two, I think we're going to see a complete transformation within the Democrat Party. What they're reaching for straws, and they're not winning. And the beauty is Donald Trump is staying on the high road, representing the vision of this nation. And I think he's going to succeed if he just stays on course and stays on this high road. Elizabeth Warren and many of the others in that ilk are done.
So well said, Eric. I want to get your reaction to two legal issues today. So we came on the air talking about the USDA now has to reinstate about 6,000 workers for 45 days while this plays out. How do you think that will play out? Will they be let go? And also your reaction to Supreme Court saying, yes, the pay the USAID for work that's already been done.
Yeah, I think let me take those in reverse order. So the USAID stuff, what the Supreme Court was looking at in part was there were essentially promises made, representations regarding aid, and there were services rendered and actions taken in response to that. So the Supreme Court is saying, hey, that's already done with. We've got to keep that aid in place. Future aid, that's a different story. When it comes to the workers, I think that the court is going to take a good hard look at this because the executive branch does have authority to control its own workforce, but it has to go through certain procedures and protocols. And so even if there's a pause on this termination, that's not the final story in terms of what will ultimately happen with those jobs and ultimately happen with that sort of limitation of government.
Well, I appreciate you both with your thoughtful analysis on all these stories today. Eric, Faddis, Gene, Valentino. See you back here soon, guys.
Thanks, Bianca.
See you then.
Thank you.
This is Chris Ruddy, and I love Gene Valentino's Grassroots Truth Cast. Make sure you're tuning in just like I do every day, every week, every minute.
Throughout history, the spirit of patriotism has prevailed. The battles may have changed, but the values remain the same. Today, in 2024, we find ourselves at a pivotal moment where the call for unity, freedom, and a better future echoes louder than ever. For more than 10 years, Patriot Mobile has been committed to supporting the values that make our nation great. With affordable plans and reliable nationwide coverage, Patriot Mobile is not just a wireless service. It's a call to action for those who believe in the American dream. Because this year is not just any year, it's the most important year since our nation's founding. Choose a wireless carrier that shares your values. Choose Patriot Mobile.